everything been coming along?
Good. I was just going over some of the like study plan, and I feel like I'm just so like stressed and anxious now. I'm like I just feel that a lot recently, like with the LSAT, because I feel like, well, I just graduated. So I'm a recent graduate of San Diego State University. And like my plan was to like take some time off and then study for the LSAT. But now watching the videos about like study plans and stuff like that, I'm like, um, I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have taken like time off to relax. To me, at least that was like my intention to like relax um after going to university, of course, of 4 years. But then now I'm like, I don't know. I know lots of people like stress about this and like, oh, should I wait for next cycle? Like, should I just like maybe get myself more time? But that's where my brain's at right now.
I hear you on that. I hear you on that. The LSAT is a big thing to take on, but there's no urgency around when you take it. You can spread it out as much as you need to. Taking days off is important. You don't want to burn out. Taking time off between a big thing like university and a big thing like LSAT is perfectly reasonable.
Mhm.
You have a target test date in mind?
Yes. So at first it was October, but now I'm thinking November. Um, yeah, I'm thinking November. I don't want to go into like next year, like January, or any of like those LSAT test dates. But also, I was looking again at I'm interested. I applied for or I qualified for the LSAT waiver, so I do get like, I don't know, like six or I don't know how many schools I can apply to that or something like that. They waive the fee, but like based on like my current lifestyle and like what I want, I know that I definitely want to stay. I'm from San Diego, California, so I want to stay there. And I think there's only like three law schools, but only like two technically are ABA accredited. So I was looking at their class profile stats. And one of them definitely, I think that I would be able to like manage and get into. I think the other one would just be it's based on like their median GPA and like LSAT median. I think I would have to work harder. But as of right now, I'm only interested in two schools, so that's why I think like I'm still thinking, but I'm pretty sure I still want to apply this cycle and take it maybe in November. I know you like some of the videos you were saying like it doesn't matter if you can take it twice, like you should go ahead and do that. But I feel like I'm now at this point, I think October, I don't know if October is like too early for me because I mean, October and November is just a month apart, but maybe that may make a big difference.
It could. An extra month can make a huge difference in your LSAT score. Even if you get a couple points more, makes a big difference. And I know that you said that you don't want to do January, but if you could get a few more points by taking in January, it would be worth the delay in your application. And since you're only looking at a couple of schools in particular based on geography, I would say do what you can to get the highest possible score. And that means taking January, take January. But we're speaking now, we're only in July. So
Yeah.
let's look at November for now and see what can we do to get you the highest possible score by November.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, um, and maybe it's just what I'm surrounded, like what I see on Instagram, or I like follow. So I found you on Instagram, and I just was interested because a lot of people nowadays are into social media, and you are very active on Instagram. Where like in my feed, it would pop up like all the time, compared to like other LSAT accounts I follow, and it just I feel like that's what also gave me urgency of like, okay, yeah, I should probably start studying for the LSAT. It's more like one of those things also where you like I at least part of me I had to reflect a lot on maybe like I'm also taking time off for mental health after like university, right? But also want to get an urgency to like get started on the LSAT. But also I reflected and I was like, maybe why don't I want to start on the LSAT? Like, and then I after reflecting, I was like, I think it's because I'm afraid of failure that I don't want to start. Like I know that maybe a diagnostic test I'm going to do incredibly horrible, and so it's the idea that I'm a fail that I like pushed it. I feel like more than I probably should have. Also through the pandemic, through having like Zoom University, I found out that I'm more like I like live just because even if like I don't ask any questions, I feel like it's like a set time is easier for me. But then I also decided to apply here just because I knew that more help was better.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you found me. I'm glad you're in the course. We have a lot of stuff going on. We have live classes almost every day. And so there is accountability built in there. There's also community built in there. Not only do we have classes, we also have study groups. And so you can connect with others going through the exact same process. Because I know it can be hard to feel like you're going through this alone sometimes. And knowing there are others in the same position who are also afraid of failure, who are also afraid of like taking on this big challenge and will I get it done? Will I get into the schools I need to get into? Other people with similar constraints around geography and such. It can really help you to form those connections.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it with the failure. It could be really discouraging to get low practice test scores, low diagnostic scores, and just know that you've made a commitment to this process where you have enough time to get everything you need. You don't need to have any urgency around when you actually take it. And you're setting aside the time to make it happen. And that foundational section of the course, it gives you the study plans. It gives you the breakdowns. So you don't need to be focused on taking practice test after practice test and seeing your results. You can
Right.
build the foundation first, slowly, step by step, day by day.
Yeah, definitely. I was looking at the study plans, and they're definitely helpful because I feel like it can be hard to like also, like you said, blocking out time. It can be hard to be like, okay, well, I'm feeling this way right now, like, but I know I have to do LSAT and so on and so forth. I think one thing I do realize though is that, like you mentioned, one of your just as well, I'm privileged enough right now at the moment where I don't have any work commitments or outside other than maybe like a couple of family obligations, but other than that, I can commit my time to the LSAT. So I think that also alleviates any like at the moment, because I did apply for a job, I don't know if I'm going to get it, but at the moment, I don't have any other commitments where I can like give myself 6 hours a day to go ahead and study for the LSAT, even though it's like only 3 months until like the November LSAT. So I think that does right now alleviate like any anxiety, like stress that I do have towards that. But I think also helpful when I did take a diagnostic test, it was like very low. But I remember watching one of your videos, and I think that's why I wasn't so stressed because it was like, just try to work as hard as you can to get the concepts. Like a diagnostic score, obviously you're not going to do well because you don't know, but it also can be discouraging when you hear people like, oh, my diagnostic score was like this, and it's like, oh well, what previous knowledge do you have that I don't have, or what skills like did you learn in your academics that maybe I didn't pick up or whatnot. But I'm definitely going to try to book multiple hours a day since I don't have anything else.
Awesome. Yeah. Make the most of the time that you have, especially before you get that job. You know, you have a full-time study schedule available to you. You can say, okay, well, I'm going to put in 4 or 5 hours a day. I wouldn't recommend doing much more than that because I don't want you to burn out. But
Mm-hmm.
you can definitely work through that study plan and also attend the classes and attend the study groups. You can track your results. I'm saying that because I don't want you to focus overtly on comparing yourself to other people. So whatever other people's diagnostics test scores are, or wherever they're at in their journey, focus on your journey and focus on, okay, I've gotten through day 1, day 2, day 3. Once you finish building your logic games foundation, then you can start doing timed logic games sections, recognizing that, hey, timed section number 1 that you complete does not reflect what timed section number 20 might look like. You will improve over time. So it's not just about accuracy, it's also pacing, endurance. It takes a while to get there. But you've got 4 months between now and November. You can make a lot happen during that time, especially if you're in the privileged position to be able to study full time. Not
Mm-hmm.
everybody is. So make the most of that.
Yeah, definitely. So then for I know like you laid all out in the video in like the study plan schedule. So you say that you recommend like going uh well you said I think you said if like 5 months, then you do like 1 month per each section and then like finish off. But if you have like less months, you said like to switch it around like every couple weeks or every day when you learn a different section or watch a different video section.
Right. So I recommend focusing primarily on one section at a time while you're building that foundation.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that you have to focus exclusively on that section. In fact, I recommend mixing in other things so that you can get some variety, so that you don't get rusty on anything. But yeah, I would say, let's say you're going for 4 months between now and November. Maybe you make logic games the focus for a couple of weeks. Then you make logical reasoning the focus for a couple of weeks. But while you're working on logical reasoning, still do some logic games, still attend the classes on reading comp, get some variety, get some exposure so that you're making forward progress in all areas. But the reason I recommend having a primary focus is because that helps you better see the patterns between different questions within a section. So you can see that what you're doing in reading comprehension for one passage, how that then translates over to another passage, regardless of what the topic was, so that you could see the underlying structure.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. What other questions do you have? What else could I do to support you right now?
I think that's all my questions for now. I think since I'm just starting out, what was most important was a study plan, study schedule to know how to manage all the hours and like specifically what to focus on. So I'm excited for logic. I think the first one was like logic games, right? The first one in the videos. I like.
Yeah.
I'm not good at those, but I like those because they're more, I don't know. I feel like they're different. And I know that I saw something that someone was like, oh, if you don't like reading comp and you're like gonna want to go to law school, like that's like ironic, but I don't know. Yeah, reading comp I feel like can be a lot, especially when it's a subject that you don't like. But I think logic games are definitely different than the rest, and I'm excited for those.
Yeah, definitely. Logic games is fun. And it's cool because it is kind of like you're doing puzzles. There is a certain like Sudoku or crossword puzzle like element to it. And so, yeah, have fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But other than that, I think that's all the questions I have at the moment.
Awesome. Well, it was great to meet you. I'm excited to have you in the course. Reach out if you need anything moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.